Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage. She has been one of the Fresh Ground comics for quite some time. She has moved to England, and she's back in town for a little bit to visit, and we got her to come back here and do some comedy, old school, for old time's sake. And I'm so glad she's here, and her hair is so long. Fucking hippie? They like hippies in England? Awesome! Good day, mate. That's what they say, right?
No.
So anything, I'm not an international man. Please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stage, Caroline Exum, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't really know which microphone to use. I guess if my jokes aren't working, I'll switch to that one. I see a lot of unfamiliar faces, which is great, because you probably haven't heard my jokes before. So this will be awesome. I have been living in the UK for a year, which I'm kind of having a reverse culture shock because I had to get used to a lot of things over there. I mean, we speak the same language, but we don't, because there are a lot of words that mean different things. Like they eat faggots over there. I didn't know this until my husband told me what he was having for dinner one night. And it was a huge shock for me. Because I just stared at him for a really long time, and I said, really? Is this something new that you need to tell me about? Because I don't think I would like that. But turns out it's like this mash of every kind of body part of an animal you can possibly put together, and it looks like a meatball, but it's like way more disgusting, which is like a lot of the food in the UK. And also another one of the words, like I could go on for days about the differences, but another one of the words you want to be careful of if you ever go to the UK is the word fanny, which you would think, wow, that's kind of an innocent word, only it's not, because here it's the rear end, but in the UK it's the front end of a female. So I said, wow, that gives fanny pack a whole new definition. You can't say things like spank your fanny, sit your fanny down. It's way inappropriate over there, and they don't like it. But yeah, I'm back, I'm visiting, and it's kind of cool. My husband's still back there. We've been married for about a year and a half, which, and you can clap for that, because we do celebrate every single month that we're married, not because we're like cutesy and all lovey, it's just because we're like, really? We've made it that far? Yes! That's awesome. But yeah, we've been married a year and a half. The wedding was kind of weird. My family didn't want to come because I wanted to be all kind of unconventional about it. Like my mom was all insisting that I walk down the aisle to Here Comes the Bride. But I said, well, that's kind of old and outdated, and everybody knows obviously the bride is coming down, because who else would it be? So I wanted to come down to something different, something a little more inappropriate, so I chose Highway to Hell. Mom didn't like that. But yeah, I wanted to, talk about some current events, because this microphone keeps sliding. Because in the UK, they don't really like to talk about a lot of American stuff, because they still kind of have a grudge. Since the whole, Bush administration, they still kind of think we're a little off kilter a little bit. But I wanted to talk about Tiger Woods, because I was talking to a friend of mine about this the other day, and one of the things that bothers me the most is the fact that, I know what he did was a terrible thing, and that's all fine and good, but so many people have decided that they're just going to discount his entire career. Like, they're like, I'm just never going to watch him play golf again. And these are people that were like really big fans of him before, and I'm thinking to myself, if you liked him because he's a really good golfer, guess what? He's still really good at that. Keeping his dick in his pants, not so much. But he's still really good at golf, you didn't watch him before because he was a nice, faithful, wholesome man. Because, good people don't have big fans. Like my grandpa, my papa Exum, he, hardly ever missed a day of work, went to church every Sunday, faithful, married for like 60 years. Nobody was giving him endorsement deals, Nobody was wearing Pawpaw Exum shoes. He did not have his own scent. It would have been, I would like to imagine, it would have been King Edward cigars and Brill Cream. Because that's what Pawpaw smelled like. But, let's see what else is going on. Yeah, so one of the reasons why I'm glad to be married is because I'm glad to be not dating anymore. Because I really hated it. I was never good at it. I never kind of understood where the guy was coming from. Like, I dated this guy right before I met the guy that I was going to marry. I dated this guy, and it was the weirdest thing. Like, every time we would be together, he would get like a phone call and have to leave all of a sudden, and he was always very secretive about where he was going to go. And, you know, he wouldn't tell me where he lived or anything. Just everything was very like hush-hush. And I thought to myself one day, I was like, you know, there's only one explanation. Greg's a superhero. Yeah. If you ever hear about a masked crusader running around town, that's Greg. Let's see, what else can I talk about? I'm trying to remember some of my old material, because I didn't do comedy while I was in England because they don't think I'm funny. Let's see, yeah, it's the holidays, and I used to love the holidays. When I was a kid, you would have to like, my mom would have to like hit me with a tranquilizer gun after Thanksgiving because I would just be so pumped about Christmas coming up, but now it really annoys me because I'm like the worst gift giver ever. Because I never have any money, so I usually have to buy people presents from like the Dollar Tree. And I always feel so bad, and I feel like I have to explain why the presents are so crap. I'm like, that NASCAR toothbrush will really come in handy one day. You know, I mean, that guy could crash. So, you know, one day it might be worth a lot of money, you never know. But yeah, I was glad to move to England. A lot of people don't use cars very much, which is great for me because before I left, I was having a lot of car problems. My brother said it's because I won't change the oil, but the oil doesn't really try to change me. So I felt like we had kind of a good relationship there. But I think I found out the problems. It was the names of the cars I was choosing. Like, for instance, my last car was a Mazda Protege. And if you look up protege in the dictionary, it's someone in training, someone learning. So my car is in training to be a car. I wasn't very good with the encouragement. I turned into like a naggy Jewish mom. I'm like, you'll never be like that car. Why can't you be that color? Look, that car's air conditioning works, why doesn't yours? And, but it's better than the car before that. The car before that was a Mirage. So it didn't even exist. And my friends were like, hey, we thought you got a new car. I was like, I did, it's a Mirage. They're like, we thought you had a better imagination than that. All right, thanks, you guys. That's my time.